Madam President.
Mr. Loveman?
Mr. Mayor, on March the 1st, I presented an alternative funding approach for the demolition of Old Reed. I know I've checked in with you over the last couple months and still waiting to get some feedback. I've heard some feedback from the council because I presented that to them as well. So have you had an opportunity to review?
Yeah, I have looked over that. I want to make sure I have the correct document because it wasn't really it was a contract between a company and a city, correct?
Correct.
I read through that contract and I found some things that really stuck out to me that served as red flags. The city was only allowed a certain amount of waste in that landfill before they were charged a fee, which calculated up to, I think, $48 per ton overage. That really concerns me. Also, the city had to waive any ability to take any legal action against the company for the life of the contract, which is 25 years. That also was fairly concerning. Also, the company retained complete rights to build or demolish as they saw fit on the landfill, and the city is required to give permits to that. The city doesn't have a say-so in the permitting process, and the contractor actually agreeing that that you will always give permitting for demolition or building. And then it also says in the contract that once the life of the contract has expired, the company is not required to tear down a building that has lived its lifespan, and it's also not required to rebuild a building they've demolished that the city might need.
My question is, do we want to explore this? I mean, we have a gentleman who's willing to talk from the city of Colony on this topic about the benefits that are potentially out there.
Any comments from council?
Well, I for one would be interested in at least exploring it a little further. Years ago, I was involved in solid waste management through an engineering firm, and I saw a couple instances where municipalities privatized that operation and did it successfully. I wouldn't be terribly burdened by a particular contract because contracts are written for specific situations, and naturally we'd have our own. But first, we need to look at conceptually, does it even make sense?
Right.
And I think it's well worthwhile to have that kind of conversation.
The language that was missing from the contract was the employment. Are they required to keep our workers on site, or do they employ their own?
No, we can actually, like you said, everything's negotiable in the contract, right? I do know they did take over their employees.
Did they accept, my bigger question was, did they accept, or would they accept the union agreements?
That I can't answer at this time. But obviously the first step would be ensuring that the employees are well taken care of.